could batteries save the world? It's a lot of responsibility to throw on an inanimate object, but out of all the tools at our disposal to create safe, green, sustainable, and reliable energy systems, batteries are our best bet. This is something that we say often around here. Solar panels and wind turbines alone will not solve sustainable energy because the sun doesn't always shine and the wind doesn't always blow. Batteries are the only way to regulate that green energy and ensure a consistent delivery. And not only do batteries revolutionize the way that we generate electricity, they also offer an unprecedented opportunity to change the way that we distribute that electricity. We're talking about decentralized power grids. We know that Elon Musk has already made his opinion very clear about a battery-powered future. Elon has said recently that the only way to transition our entire global electricity consumption to green energy is by producing an epic amount of batteries. Elon puts that number at 300 terawatt hours. But what does that even mean? Well, to get a sense of scale, that's 1,000 times more batteries than the entire global capacity to produce batteries right now. It would take Tesla's Giga Nevada battery factory 1,500 years to produce 300 terawatt hours worth of cells at its current rate of 40 gigawatt hours per year. So we need a lot of batteries, and that's just Elon Musk giving an estimate. We know that he has a tendency to underestimate really complicated projects, so honestly, the real number is likely much higher than that. Honestly, it very well may be just impossible to do this on a global scale. There is no shortage of people who would tell you that. But I wonder if people ever said the same thing about electricity. Imagine going back to the 1700s and telling Benjamin Franklin that someday every house in the world would have its own supply of electricity. He'd probably scoff at you for being mad. People scoffed at Nikola Tesla and his theories on free, clean energy even after the dude literally invented the modern alternating current system. And people will continue to scoff at Elon Musk and his batteries. It's just the way of the world. But that hasn't stopped the early adopters from getting started with implementing battery energy projects. We can just look at Tesla numbers for energy storage deployments to get a sense of how this industry is growing. In 2017, Tesla Energy deployed 358 megawatt hours of stationary battery storage. By 2018, that number had grown to over 1,000 megawatt hours, which can also be called 1 gigawatt hour, and then in 2021, Tesla increased again by deploying 4 gigawatt hours of battery storage. So that's a pretty substantial amount of growth, and Tesla executives say that the demand for these energy storage products remains substantially above the company's capacity to produce them. Elon Musk said at the beginning of this year that Tesla actually could have produced more energy storage in 2021, but chose to prioritize electric vehicles for material supply. There's no reason to think that Tesla can't substantially increase that capacity. For one, the company is transitioning their energy products away from nickel-based battery chemistry and over to iron-based cathodes. Iron is an abundant and cheap material that will allow for a higher volume of cell manufacturing at a much lower price. And in addition, construction is underway on a new Tesla factory that will be dedicated to the Megapack unit, a 3 megawatt hour shipping container sized battery that is made specifically for grid scale energy projects. Tesla estimates the new factory output at 40 gigawatt hours per year. Again, that's the same output as their existing Giga Nevada battery plant that has not only produced all of their energy storage projects to date, but has also made the majority of the battery packs for Tesla Model 3s and Model Ys sold in North America. So it's a massive amount of batteries. Long term, Elon Musk sees Tesla's energy division reaching 1 terawatt hour per year in capacity, which is amazing. But still, even at that capacity, it would take 300 years to make enough batteries to power the world. And that's pretty scary. It does seem kind of impossible. So, yes, the long term goal here is going to be preposterously difficult to achieve, but that just means that we need to really get this ball rolling right now in any way that we can. So, how do we do it? Well, we know that big grid scale battery projects have already started to take off. We've talked endlessly about these in previous videos. Australia, California, Texas, the United Kingdom. These are giant battery projects that power entire communities, which is great. But the beauty of Tesla's Megapack and Powerpack system is that it is modular. You can have as much or as little energy storage as you need. So that opens the door for even a relatively small company or business venture to transition to their own independent supply of clean energy. A great example of that recently is the Tesla-powered Bitcoin mining operation run by Blockstream and Jack Dorsey's company Blocks, which was formerly known as Square. Tesla just delivered 4 Megapack units to this facility in Texas that harness its energy from a 4 megawatt-hour solar panel farm. Now, obviously, there are a lot of opinions out there about Bitcoin and crypto, and that's totally cool. I don't care if you like it or don't like it, and we're not going to try and sway opinion in either direction. But the one thing that both sides can agree on is that cryptocurrency uses a ton of energy. And if, hypothetically, crypto were to be widely adopted as a real currency, then we are going to have to make sure that energy is coming from sustainable sources and not terrible ones like coal-fired power plants in Kazakhstan. That's going to be a very hard problem to solve on the global scale, but this one Bitcoin mine in Texas is a great example of how we get started on fixing it. And these Tesla Megapacks are the tools that make it possible. And this isn't just about cryptocurrency. That's just an example that is in the news right now. We can apply the same concept to any high energy usage industry. Take laundromats, for example. I don't dare run my clothes dryer at home until off-peak electricity rates kick in because it uses a ton of energy to do what it does. Now, imagine the energy usage of an industrial scale laundry facility. That's a problem. What if these kinds of businesses could switch over their operations to disconnect from the grid and run independently on solar power and Megapack storage? It is possible. It can be done today. It is, in fact, being done right now, and that's pretty cool. There is hope, if nothing else. And before we leave the cryptocurrency thing totally behind, let's talk about one of the core fundamentals of that whole ethos: decentralization. I don't have a clue whether this is actually good or bad for the financial system, but I do have a pretty strong opinion on decentralization when it comes to electrical grids, and I think that is critical to our survival over the coming decades. A great example of this right now is what Tesla is working on in Texas. We learned the other day that Tesla has filed to change rules for grid operators in Texas to enable anyone with solar panels and batteries, including residential homeowners, to participate in the state's energy market. For whatever reason, Texas does not allow home solar and battery users to provide their extra energy into the grid and get paid for it, which I think is a pretty standard practice in most places. Tesla believes that they could provide megawatts of additional energy to the state electrical grid just from their existing solar roof and Powerwall owners, a market that is quickly expanding in the state as Tesla is reaching new deals with real estate developers in Texas to have new homes built with solar roofs, Powerwalls, and EV chargers already integrated.